Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video and happy Friday everyone. As you guys can see for the theme of today's video, I'm spending some quality time with my dog, with Arturo. He's no longer going, or he's not for much longer gonna be an only dog, only child, because Nona is officially coming to Belgium in April, the second dog that we found on the beach in Morocco. And I had a late day today and I just got home and I was gonna film a video, but then he was stubborn to want to cuddle with me on the couch or on my bed. So I thought, why not make the video here since it's not necessarily in theme of today, but what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is um, basically the root of most existential fears, or I think most fears in general, or basically a lot of fears. And I got talking with one of my clients this week, and that's actually how I was refreshened to discuss this video today. Because, as you guys probably know by now, in case or except for if you're new to this channel, I struggled very severely with a lot of different existential fears. I had the fear of death, I had fear of many crazy existential topics that I will not get into today too deeply. But basically, very hyper aware of existence and all the fear that came with that. And one of the core principles that I had to realize from recovering or from like attempting to recover from these fears was that I was actually in the core of all these fears very afraid of being alone. I realized that my fear of death was a fear of being alone in darkness, as you could say, or losing the people that I loved, because I, at the core, really could not really feel safe on my own or like anchor my sense of safety within myself. And I think that for most of the fears that we have in life, especially existential fears, when we ask the question of what is this really about, the answer to that question usually comes down to a fear of being alone. And you could say, well, we're social beings, so that's normal. And part of me really agrees with that. Part of me really thinks that we are meant to feel safe in groups, in herds. Like I talked about in my last video on solipsism, our brain is programmed to send signals of rest and digest and safety whenever we are connected and accepted by our community. So part of that is normal. Part of it, part of dealing with that fear, I guess, is accepting that in this human experience, we will always need a little bit of social connection with other people to thrive, to feel very good. However, if it is an actual panic fear of being alone, then that's something that we need to work on. And so I wanted to talk to you guys today about a few things that you can do as well to actually kind of overcome the fear of loneliness or the fear of being alone in existence or in life in general. I know that many people, including myself, cope with fears by trying to make sure they're never alone with their thoughts. And yeah, therefore we plan our day full with silly things to do to distract ourselves from that fear of being alone, or to just like find people around us to temporarily numb that fear. But in the core, the reality is that we are born in this life alone and we will leave this life alone. And if that scares you, then I just placed a mirror in front of you, pointing you to the fact that you might need to increase the safety that you feel within yourself when you are alone. So here's a few things that you can do if you struggle with existential fears, of which the root are the fear of being alone. And yeah, the first thing that I would advise you is, guess what, my answer to everything, but this one especially for this topic, is to spend more time in meditation. So what we do when we meditate is we sit down, we close our eyes, and we're basically spending time with ourselves and finding the person who is aware of those negative thoughts, who's aware of those anxious feelings, and really understanding that we are always capable of truly supporting ourselves no matter what we're going through. And for me, meditation was almost like me getting to know myself truly for the first time. Almost like I finally sat with myself and was like, hey, like we've been running around in this earth, but nice to finally meet you, nice to finally sit down with you. And in the beginning, it was very scary because I had a lot of anxious thoughts and emotions that I did not know how to deal with. But over the course of time, just learning to stay present with those feelings, to really sit with them and meditate through them, it taught me that I am so much stronger than I think, and that I can rely on myself so much more than I think, and that no matter what emotion I'm feeling or thought I'm having, that if I stay with it long enough, I'm strong enough to carry it, and I'm strong enough and loving enough to support myself through it. And that really strengthened the relationship I had within myself, and it grew the confidence that I needed to feel that no matter what existence is about, no matter what will happen in life, I always can rely on myself, and I always can find that safety in just being still within myself. So first thing is meditation. Second tip I would give you is to actually spend quality time with yourself. Another way of exposing yourself, I would say, but this time it's more about maybe on the surface, just learning to get comfortable with actually spending longer periods of time alone. So when I first started recovering, I remember that whenever I was home alone in the evening, I would just feel such a dreadful feeling. I would feel so scared. I'd be having panic attacks or have a fear of having panic attacks. I would be confronted with my existential doom, and I just feel very, very lonely, almost like I did not know how to enjoy my own company. So what I started doing was actually, first of all, consciously just not running away from that feeling if I was home alone, but actually just kind of taking the feeling with me throughout my evening and saying, all right, I'm just gonna cook myself some dinner and this feeling is allowed to be here. But I also started doing things that I really enjoyed by myself, such as like painting, or cooking, or going on a walk without a podcast and just trying to enjoy the silence with myself. Another thing that I would do is paint my nails. Like, just, it's something silly, but just the idea of me taking time to really like take care of myself, or take a bath or take a shower or just do a little workout or do some yoga. It was me consciously giving myself the message that I want to take care of myself and I don't need anyone else to do that. And over time, it just got a lot easier and easier. I started enjoying spending time by myself a lot more, and now I'm honestly at a point where it's probably too much, where I enjoy my own company more than anyone else's, which is not to say that I don't have great friends and great people around me, but I just feel so comfortable with myself now that I don't really need other people as much anymore as I used to, and that feels very, very good. So that's the second tip I would give you, is really try and spend quality time with yourself, and also take that time to not distract yourself or not just be alone but with your mind like watching TV or something, but actually just doing something with yourself that you're engaged with yourself as well. The third tip I want to give you, and this is not so much about being alone, but I think this is more about finding connection with life in general, is to spend a lot of time in nature, alone maybe, but funnily enough, what helped me overcome my fear of being alone also was the realization that I'm always connected to all of life, and so I can't ever truly be alone. So what I mean with that was that if I would go on a walk, for example, I would just look at a tree and just see the tree bloom. And even though I am I and the tree is the tree and I will die sooner than the tree probably, but we never know, I still felt like the energy that's making this tree grow is the same energy that is within me. And so the tree and I share the same life force, share the same life energy. And that made me feel very, very connected, almost in a way of, even if I die, like this energy that is going through me that is going through the tree will still be there. I don't know if that's something that actually will help any one of you that's listening, but for me, it just always made me feel less alone, or less lonely, maybe is a better word, to just feel how connected I felt to nature. And feeling connected to nature is not something that you can create, it's just something that you feel by spending long periods of time in nature. And also, I don't know, it just made me feel safe and connected, even though I was spending time alone or by myself. Um, so that was something that really helped me a lot as well. So those are three things that I really just thought of sharing with you guys today in terms of insights that can help you overcome the root of a lot of existential fears. We're often so caught up in the surface level of our existential fears, the topic of death or nihilism or solipsism or whatever it is, but we very rarely actually end up looking at the root of why do I have this fear. Like I said in my last video, if life was the problem, everyone would be panicking. But no, not everyone's panicking. Most of the people feel quite okay with existence. So remember to always look within and ask yourself, what is it in me that is freaking out about this topic? And to go to the core and to the root instead of to the symptom or the problem of life. And so loneliness and the fear of being alone, I think for many people, as I've worked with people over the years, seems to be a common ground. So let me know in the comments if you have any tips for what helped you to feel more confident or comfortable or safe feeling alone. And yeah, I can't wait to see you guys next week. I am going to hug Arturo right now and just cuddle with him. And I hope you all have a lovely weekend.